3:43.
What?
3:43.
Yeah, not too bad.
How do you feel about it?
It was one of the negatives with having it midday is not being able to see the light as clearly. So it was somewhat difficult to. It was a little stressful to not have 100% control. I mean, if you have the light, it's important that it's there. If not, it can only stress you with, trying to watch something that's not as visible as it usually is. But I knew that I could run fast. But the main objective of the race was to test myself and to see what I could do. So I would say it was a somewhat conservative pace the first 2 laps, and then try to push as hard as I could with 809 to go. So it was a very good race.
How was the wind on the back straight?
Challenging. It's definitely not optimal. I would love for Eric to go 100 meter further, or I would love to have a pacemaker with 1 lap to go, like the other guys had in the 90s. But you got to work with what you got. It was I knew that probably I would have a pacemaker to 900. So it's definitely like my race in Silesia. It's a very good race, a very good time, but it's definitely some things that it's still possible to improve. So it's I would say it's a very good thing.
Did Yard thank you?
What?
Did Yard thank you?
No, there's too much disrespect in this sport. Nobody's thanking the main pacer.
Did you ask for the pace lights to be set to world record pace, and if so, when did you?
No, it had nothing to do with the world record. I set the lights for my own liking, and it just happened to be a tenth of a second faster than the world record. But as I mentioned, the first 2 laps was, a decent pace, and then it sped up a little bit on the 3rd lap, and then some more the last lap. And I knew that I was gonna rub sub 46 at least, but I just wanted to have the light as a reference, but in a somewhat strong finish.
What was your reaction to probably at least on Negus's shadow?
What?
What was your reaction to Negus being that close? Or did you sense his nearness at all or not?
It's easy to run fast with someone in front, but he's obviously maximizing the opportunity that he's given, which is what it's all about. It's about competing, being there when it matters, and obviously trying to do as good as you can when the opportunity comes. But it's fun for me and for him as well to, we're not here to do anything else than put ourselves out there and try to see how fast we can run. So of course that's what this sport is all about, to try to push the limits, and obviously we're both breaking records and both excited for the future.
This feels like the most winded we've caught you kind of to do interviews after a race. How exhausting was this effort compared to the other world records this season?
Not too bad.
Really?
I mean, it depends what you're doing. Today was obviously for me to try to push myself as much as I could, because I know what that meant, fast time. And as I said, I wanted to have this race to be, a time trial against the clock to see what I'm capable of in the mile. I don't run distance, too often, so it's all about trying to get a good time when I get the chance.
Do you think this was the greatest performance of your career, and if not, what would be?
No, I would say this and my race in Silesia is definitely one of the best. I know that I'm in a very good shape, but still it's about going, hard from the beginning, but also, staying in, the lactate, and because it's fairly tough already from after 2 laps, like it was in Silesia, but it's about not slowing down, but trying to keep the stride and keep the momentum going. But it's that's what it takes to try to run fast.
I'm sure it was somewhat bittersweet to run so fast, but just to miss the world record. Are you feeling more bitter or
No,
sweet
it's not.
about the performance?
It's not just. It's quite a margin. It's just that the world record is so good that no one has ever come close. So it seems like it's close because I'm the second fastest, but it's today was all about myself, and it's as I mentioned, I believe I'm gonna improve like I did this year, going into next year and the year after that. So it's all about trying to do as good as you can with the tools and the cards that I've been dealt, and but at the same time I have a good feeling that I'm gonna have more chances in the future.
Yeah. And Yard was closer to you than we've seen someone else come on the Diamond League this year. Like, how do you feel about him closing the gap?
Every race it's own race. It's good for him to get a good race, but yeah, it is what it is. It's good for both of us, and obviously it's better if we can have multiple athletes competing against each other to run fast and to break records, and not only have one guy in the front running by himself, because then I could just do it in my whole track in Sunnis.
Cool down, race tomorrow.
Congratulations.